Welcome to a special edition of Wake Up Charlotte to go as we continue to cover Tropical Storm Idalia. These are live pictures right now from Kill Devil Hills, where you see the red flag is out and you can see the pier there facing a torrent of high seas and rough seas at that. Yeah, the storm pretty much clearing out of the North Carolinas, but it is hitting the Outer Banks right now, leaving really a path of destruction behind. We've been talking about it all morning long on Wake Up Charlotte. We do have some pictures of flooding from Charleston. Our Richard DeVayne is there. The rain leaving parts of the city just completely underwater, certain streets underwater, several tornadoes also leading to a scary situation in Goose Creek, leaving 2 people with minor injuries. Look at this.
Pretty amazing. It's Charleston floods, there's like a ½ inch of rain. So you put something like this and it just inundates that area. If you saw some of the video from our correspondent.
Yeah,
this
is the video. This is the gnats that we had.
Yeah,
the gnat sound is pretty crazy, but thankfully those people are okay. But you can see the wind there, the tornado just picking up that car. Thankfully they only had minor injuries, but this video going viral yesterday online.
And to put that in perspective, it's usually a strong category 1 to a not category, I'm stuck in hurricane mode, an EF1 to EF2.
I think was that an EF1? I think it may have been EF0, right?
Yeah, and usually just actually physically lift a car, it's that strong, but then to disrupt a car, it can be as much as EF0 or at least an EF1. So.
We saw a lot of plane issues, too. But Richard DeVayne, not far from where that car was really picked up on the highway. But he joins us now from Charleston with more on the cleanup now this morning.
Checking out the water. It's always really fun to check out the water. So it's pretty crazy right over there. It's got a good current coming in from the ocean. So.
Harrison Ross says this tropical storm is normal for anyone who lives near downtown Charleston. He and his girlfriend took to the streets to check out the harbor as police used their flashing lights to warn drivers about some of those streets turning into rivers and becoming impassable.
Yeah, this is pretty normal. Even during just a high tide, it'll flood really bad. So
earlier in the day, a sudden tornado was blamed for flipping this car over as Tropical Storm Idalia dumped heavy rains on the city and along with the daily high tides, resulting in many parts of Charleston flooding. City officials say the best course of action is to stay put until the waters recede.
I guess so. Get around. A wakeboard and somebody pulling you with a jet ski or something would probably be best.
They could change the name of that town to Floodston because it doesn't take a lot. You heard that I think it was someone from NBC, one of the correspondents, was standing in front of at the battery. They call the battery the wall. Water just washing over behind them, just gushing over. I mean, there's a couple feet of water right there, but so it's prone to flooding. But during this, it was just inundated with all that water.
So what's the latest on this?
Latest is we'll take a look and show you the graphics on that. It's still a tropical storm, winds about 60 miles an hour, moving east-northeast at 21. So it's starting to finally move away from the Outer Banks. The position puts the center of circulation pretty close to Wilmington, North Carolina. Heavy rain. None of that here, but once you go east of here, especially from the coastal plain right there to the Outer Banks, heavy rain, and that rain extends all the way up some of those feeder bands up into Virginia, up towards Norfolk, up towards Virginia Beach in that area. But the heaviest rain all morning has been towards the Outer Banks. We'll kind of expand the view and show you that system as it works its way eventually out into the Atlantic Ocean. Storm surge watch in effect for those areas near all the rivers. You have a number of rivers there, so the rivers are backed up and then they flow. So it's kind of a back and forth situation. So that's definitely a problem with the storm surge out there. And it is a dangerous rip current anywhere from Hilton Head to Charleston, Myrtle Beach, all the way out to the Outer Banks. If you're at the beach, do not go into the water.
Yeah, likely chance you're going to have that red flag that's going to be waving. And I was actually looking at some rip current stats I thought was really kind of mind-blowing. Rip currents, and this is supposedly from 2000, so this is from the Wilmington National Weather Service office. Rip current deaths have been 179, but comparative to all the other weather fatalities, it's the #1 by far. So just keep that in mind. It's very dangerous when you get caught in that, and it's tough to see from an aerial view. You can see it. You can see where a rip current is, but physically on the beach. So just heed those warnings. Heading through the weekend, as Idalia gets a little bit further out to sea, it will get a little bit better down to a moderate. Still a chance for life-threatening rip currents, and then it should be much better by the end of the holiday weekend. But regardless, just be careful if you are going to the beach because it's going to be a big beach weekend.
A lot of people will be down there, and once again, do not go in the water. water because we had Franklin earlier causing the situation. Now, here we go with Idalia. And this is what's going to happen. Idalia will finally move out to the Atlantic Ocean and head almost on a beeline towards Bermuda and then take a turn to the northeast. So Bermuda has the potential for a lot of heavy rain and storms. Should not be a direct hit out there. Look at some of these rainfall. This is estimated totals in the past 24 hours of Hatteras, almost 7 inches out there. You can see just south of there about 5.5 inches. Jacksonville, North Carolina, over 3 inches of rainfall in those areas. Now, those are all estimates. And then into areas south of there, Whiteville, North Carolina, almost 7 inches, and near Myrtle Beach, about 5. So it was the rainfall that they had. It was the high winds, the storm surge, a lot of that together. And for us, we just didn't get that much rain at all.
That's okay.
That's
okay.
Yeah.
By the way, Joy, echoing the sentiments of many, hoping that glad to see that the person in the car was not seriously hurt. Melissa saying that the car toss happened actually near her hairstylist. She was just there last week.
Wow.
And then she also said that, of course, flooding in downtown Charleston is nothing new. Still, when you have a tide like this and a hurricane like this, it can make things
always want to be safe.
A lot worse.
Well, and let's always end on a good note.
Yeah.
It's going to be actually a pretty decent day, and it's not going to be overly muggy, so that's going to be good.
Amen.
Take a look at that.
Ooh.
Low 80s, sunshine, Carolina blue skies, and there's an instant replay of that. Hoping to get to the Guy Roofing 7-day forecast.
There you go.
If you got plans outside for the weekend, pretty close to perfect. It's been a long time since we've had this kind of great-looking Labor Day weekend. And I don't know if anybody would like to take the day off on Monday. Take it off if you want to. Maybe one among us would like
Maybe. Allegedly.
Go ahead, Ben.
We'll
do it.
See. We'll see.
Say bye-bye to summer. Hello, pumpkin spice.
Yes. When I come back on Tuesday, we can talk about pumpkin spice and everything nice. Does it sound good? All right, folks, chime in. Let us know what you think. And then we hope to see you back here tomorrow morning for a Friday edition of Wake Up Charlotte Go. We leave you with pictures from Kill Devil Hills, where the sea's still rough out there. Have a good day, everybody.